Hello everyone, welcome to the England Hockey League preview podcast for Week 7. I'm Andy Day, your host. Later on, we'll take a trip to Nottingham to hear from Maddie Axford. Just 4 more matches until the season split in the Premier Divisions, and every team are still able to achieve a top 6 place with 12 points to play for in both men's and women's Premier play. Which teams will qualify? To start us off, as ever, here are the Women's Premier Division fixtures for Saturday, the 2nd of November. Midday for Sutton Coldfield Clifton Robinsons. 2 matches at 2 o'clock, Loughborough Students East Grinstead and Reading Bowden. 2:30 for Hampstead and Westminster University of Nottingham. And University of Birmingham Wimbledon. 4 p.m. for Holcombe Surbiton. The England Hockey Women's Premier Division is a very competitive league with 7 draws over the last 12 matches. Only one team is entering the match week with 2 wins in their last 2, and that's 3rd placed East Grinstead. They head to Loughborough Students after picking up important points both home and away in recent weeks. Loughborough themselves are 4 games without a win, but did draw at home to University of Nottingham in doubleheader weekend. East Grinstead have had a lot of success at Loughborough. Loughborough's last victory when playing East Grinstead was in September 2019, and that was away. Both teams have scored 15 goals this season. Unbeaten Reading host Bowden, both teams having 3 wins in their last 5. However, Reading drew their other 2 matches, whereas Bowden's other 2 ended in defeat. This is a repeat of the match in the league finals phase of last season, where Reading won 4-0 at home. Reading are the league's top scorers on 26, exactly doubles Bowden's tally of 13. This looks like a corking match to follow, as both defences have been pretty strong this season. The question is, can Bowden get one over Reading for the first time since 2016? Sutton Coldfield is the venue for the meeting of the bottom 2. The midday game sees Clifton Robinsons head to Windley. Sutton Coldfield scored late on last week to secure their first point back in the Premier Division, and whilst the wait for the first win didn't end, coincidentally, they played the last team they collected 3 points from. Sutton Coldfield beat Clifton Robinsons back in 2012. Clifton Robinsons have steadied the ship a little after their opening sequence of 3 defeats and a draw. This first meeting of the teams in 10 years feels like quite a high-intensity match in prospect, and a great watch. Holcombe have stopped their run of defeats with a draw against Sutton Coldfield last week, and they face a travelling Surbiton side that haven't yet hit the form of last season. That said, Surbiton start Saturday in 4th place. Holcombe had started the season with 2 wins in 2, and the unexpected change in leadership seemed to be reflected in those later results. Both of those teams will be seeking a result to restore confidence, but for different reasons. Holcombe are aiming for their first victory over Surbiton since 2018, during that sequence of 3 seasons with the teams meeting in a league final match. Olivia Shannon has been in good form in front of goal, with 5 for Holcombe this season so far. Hampstead and Westminster are in the best form over the last 5 games, with 4 wins in that spell, and have been looking more impressive with each result that comes in. They're the hosts for University of Nottingham, who've hit a patch of draws recently. Goals tend to be a feature of this fixture, with 12 coming in this year's league finals fixture. We'll hear from the league's top scorer, University of Nottingham's Maddie Axford, later in the podcast, and hear her thoughts on this game. It's clear that both teams will be approaching the game in a determined mood. Finally, it's 5th place University of Birmingham versus Wimbledon. Wimbledon are on a streak of 3 draws in a row, and University of Birmingham on 2. These teams are on a run of 4 draws in their last 4 meetings between themselves. University of Birmingham are seeking a debut win over Wimbledon. History suggests a tight match, but this Saturday's game is there to be won. Here are the men's Premier Division fixtures. 4:30 for Oxted Bowden, 8 o'clock for Beeston Wimbledon, Hampstead and Westminster and Cardiff and Met, Old Georgians and East Grinstead, and Surbiton Southgate, and 6:30 for Holcombe Richmond. 9th placed East Grinstead are travelling to champions and league leaders Old Georgians with 3 consecutive defeats in the book. Old Georgians are still on that long winning run. Since promotion, it's not unfair to say that it's been one-sided. East Grinstead haven't scored in 7 meetings and have lost by a combined 43 goals to 0. As ever, new chapters in the hockey history book can be written at any time. I wonder if there could be a twist this weekend. Beeston host Wimbledon, with the two teams next to each other in 5th and 6th. The Bees lost their first games of the season on doubleheader weekend and drew either side of that, so are hoping for a win to bring their season back on track. Wimbledon naturally will have other ideas and are coming into this one in sparkling form. Their last time Wimbledon travelled to Beeston, they won 3-2 and are unbeaten in the match since 2020. Henry Croft has scored in every game this season. Will this run continue into an 8th match? Surbiton have the same form as Wimbledon and are looking strong in 2nd place, but are 5 points behind top-placed Old Georgians. Heading across London to play at Sugden Road will be 10th place Southgate, who after a poor start to the season are now unbeaten in 2. The last meeting was in the league final segment of last season and is finished 2-2 after 70, with Surbiton coming out winners in a shootout by 4-1. First goal scorer will go a long way to shaping this fixture's outcome. Bowden are yet to win this season. They travel to Oxted, who are in mixed form. This is the first ever meeting in the league for these teams. Both of these teams have skill across the field, but this game will be won by the team that surely keeps their concentration levels the highest. Hampstead and Westminster have had their ups and downs this season. They welcome away day specialists Cardiff and Met. These teams are in similar form. These teams have only met once before, which was a 4-0 home victory for Hampstead and Westminster. Anything could happen in this one, and that's why it's my fixture of the day. Holcombe have been steadily picking up wins and sit 3rd in the table. Heading to Kent are Richmond, who've had their range of firsts this season, including a first win in recent weeks. The form book and history is pointing towards a home win, with Holcombe being winners in all 6 meetings to date. But a match week never goes completely to the form book. The men's top scorer race is hotting up, with Old Georgians Sam Ward on 12, Surbiton's Struan Walker on 11, and Alan Forsyth of Old Georgians on 9. Don't forget to visit England Hockey's socials for full listings of games and details of where games are being streamed. We're now talking to Maddie Axford, ladies' first team captain at University of Nottingham. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
Doing okay. Tell us about your season so far at University of Nottingham.
Our season so far at Nottingham's definitely been challenging. I think it's clear to see that all the teams in the Premier League are very competitive this year, and scores are could go either way. So yeah, it's been very challenging, but it's been going really well so far, and we've been bonding as a team really well this year.
One of the questions I wanted to ask you was, as a university, how does that differ between club play? Is there any differences would you find?
I would say the main difference is just the contact time that we spend together, because everyone is located in basically the same place. The contact time is obviously a lot more than if you were at another club. So we meet almost 5 times a week, not including matches. So it's an intense programme, but really enjoyable.
How does it feel like to be top of the goal scorer charts?
I mean, I wasn't expecting it, really, which is kind of funny because you would have thought I would have counted. But actually, I wasn't really expecting it. And when it came out, yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. But it was really nice to see that on the England Hockey social media.
You're away at Hampstead and Westminster at the weekend. In previous matches, there have been plenty of goals scored. Are you taking this game any differently to any other?
No, our approach normally is just to kind of focus on how we play as a team and go from there. Hampstead and Westminster away is always a challenging one for us because not only is the travel quite a long way, but also, I mean, they're a very good team, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. We don't tend to have issues with scoring goals down at Hampstead and Westminster, but we sometimes have issues of letting them in, so that would be interesting.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey into hockey.
So hockey as a sport has run through my family. So my parents played hockey. I've got 3 siblings. All of them played hockey. So it was kind of inevitable that was going to be my sport. I started when I was very young, going along to my brothers and sisters' matches and kind of just playing around with the hockey ball. And then from there, I started to take it more seriously when I went to Bedford Girls' School, my first school after like pre-prep school. So I started playing there more seriously and joined Southgate Hockey Club, which was like played a massive part in helping my kind of journey when I was younger.
So for the team this season, what's the goal? What's the hope to finish? Is it top six?
Following on from last year, definitely we want to be finishing in the top six. We managed to finish in the top six last season, so I think it's just improving on that. And actually, finals weekend is probably the ultimate goal, but we'll just have to see how that goes because it's one step at a time. We need to make the top six before we can do that. It's a really competitive league and it's a really enjoyable one to be a part of. And it definitely brings joy to a lot of people on Saturday. So yeah, that's great.
Maddie Axford, thank you for your time.
Thank you, thanks.
That's this weekend's fixtures all set up for you. Which one are you going to? Which one will you be watching on a live stream? I've been your host, Andy Day. Join me again next week for your essential quick guide to the upcoming fixtures.